You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Today, I am thankful for big-ass monsters and the mercenaries who explode them. It almost brings a tear to your eye, but you hold back because you don't want to look like a wuss, but that's okay, because real badasses cry too! My grandma's a pretty big fan of yours. Could you go say hi to her?
Did you unlock the head?
Yeah. I don't want to put it on.
It looks funnier on your character than it does mine.
But I want to be a husk.
Oh man, it's the Vault Hunter! You are awesome! Didn't you fight Terramorphous? I fought a big creature like that once. He was a big whale squid with 100 tentacles. You ever thought anything with tentacles? Oh, of course you have. Terramorphous had tentacles, how silly of me. Now, where was I?
I am so sorry!
All right, the whale creature. His name was Blowhole the Apocalypse. I called him the Apocalypse for short. And he attacked my hometown of Tsunami's Edge when I was but a little girl. You ever been to Tsunami's Edge? Great town, nice beaches, great food, and the cost of living is just so low. Even being a single grandmother and working part-time at a scat meat processing factory, I was still able to provide for little Mr. Torg. We may not have been able to afford the finer things in life, like food, but we got by. After all, Mr. Torg and I didn't have anything but one another after that horrible gas leak blew up the iridium mine, killing my son and his lovely wife. From that day onward, my little Mr. Torg vowed to conquer explosions themselves in an effort to avenge his fallen parents, and... Ah, man, I forgot what I was
The choices are pretzeling my inner
All
life.
right, the Blowhole the Apocalypse. So anyway, I was wrestling Blowhole to the ground, and I have my bicep curled around his blueberry throat. Blueberry? Sorry, I meant to say blubbery. I've got blueberries on the brain, I guess. I grow them in my backyard. Mr. Torg helped me get them. Thanks again for that, grandson.
I love you, Grandma!
How long does this take?
I have my bicep around his blubbery throat, and Mr.
What do we
starts
get?
crying.
Please tell me, because at this point I don't find it
You never
worth it.
want to see me hard one.
Please!
You need to be paying attention because she's going to ask you questions and you have to answer them right or just start over.
So I let the whale go after giving it a punch in the eyeball so he'll remember me, and it swam away into the ocean. And then I had Mr. Torg drive me to the ice cream parlor. He got me because Rocky Road's my favorite. I'm extremely partial to the way the marshmallows act like little landmines of flavor amidst the battleground of chocolate. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Is it pistachio? I bet it's pistachio. Oh, that reminds me!
If you die, we start over.
I saw today. Pistachio the Amazing! He's a magician who studied under Crazy Earl, so he's got that weird mustache, you know, but I saw him make a rack hive disappear. A whole rack hive! I said to Mr. Torg, Mr. Torg, wasn't that amazing? And he said, yes, it was, Grandma. Didn't you say that, high five? You remember saying that?
I remember, Grandma!
And we stood in line afterward and got his autograph, and I thought I had it somewhere around here, but it's probably in the attic. I really ought to go out one of these days. I have so many little keepsakes up there. Are you
Please tell me the reward is worth
paying
this.
attention, right? Say, what's my favorite flavor of ice cream?
What is
I
it?
know this one. It's Rocky
So you
Road.
are listening. How wonderful. You're an even better listener than my old pet rack, Beasto. Beasto was such a sweetie. You ever had a pet rack?
Please tell me the
You
reward is
tame them.
worth
They are
this.
the sweetest pet you'll ever have. He used to just sit on my shoulder and bite chunks of flesh out of my neck to pass the time. I still remember the way he used to tweet. He went, tweet, tweet. It was so cute. I had a conversation with him once. I said, Mr. Beasto. He liked being called Mr. Beasto. It made him feel like an aristocrat. I said, Mr. Beasto, you're looking very cute today.
If you die,
And
we
he
start
said,
over.
Oh, thank you.
I
That's
don't
so
care.
nice. Or he tweeted in a way that made me know that's how he felt. And then he lowered his little
I have
head
too much
like
health
he was
to kill
taking
myself.
a bow. It was adorable.
You know.
Beasto was my third pet.
What is the reward for
First
this?
I had Woody. He got hit by a train. Then I had Anita. She got shot up trying to take vengeance on the train that killed Woody. And then I found Beasto making little poops on the windmill outside our house. After Mr. Torg and I wrestled her to the ground, I did a flying pile driver off a nearby tower tree. Got him straight in the spine and brought him down. We brought him in and fed him some skag steaks until he decided he loved us. I still miss Beasto sometimes. He just died of old age. Rack don't live much longer than a few years, but I treasured the time we had together. Poor Mr. Torg. When Beasto died, he cried for a week. The kids made fun of him at school, but I told him not to pay them any mind.
Being in touch with your emotions is not a character flaw!
That's right, High Five. Is something wrong? You look confused, Vault Hunter. Oh, you probably haven't heard anyone call Mr. Torg High Five before. The world may know him as Mr. Torg, but the Flexingtons always refer to him using his middle name. It's a Flexington family tradition, after all, to use your grandfather or grandmother's name as your own middle name. And my husband, High Five Flexington, God rest his soul, was the best grandfather Mr. Torg could have asked for before he passed. He taught Mr. Torg dang near everything he knew about firearms. Without High Five's teachings, I don't think the Torg Corporation would exist at all. Gosh, I still remember the first gun Mr. Torg tried to make after his parents died. A Jacobs shotgun with a stick of dynamite attached to the barrel. Torg blew his face off, got up, dusted his mustache off, and swore that by the time he reached the age of 11, he would make a gun that fired explosions without killing the operator. And by golly, he did. It took a couple of dozen prototypes before he got the right combination of gun parts and explosives right. But once he did, woo-wee! I'll never forget the plume of smoke that used to be my neighbor's homestead. They were jerks, though, so it's okay.
Nipple salad!
Gosh, I've been talking your ear off for some time, haven't
Nipple
I?
salads!
So kind of you to listen for this long. I've taken up too much of your time already. Please don't feel like you have to stick around any longer. As a matter of fact, take this for giving this old woman some company.
Should I take it?
It's $1.
Are you fucking serious?
Or even more attractive than... I've got another story for you, but I'd like to tell it to all of your friends at once. An old lady like me has to save her voice, you know. Oh, you still want to talk with me? How incredible.
What have you done?
You. Say, you'll never guess who I am. Captain Scarlet. She was
What have you
robbing a
done?
retirement home with a few other brands, and I recognized her from her wanted poster.
Hold still, look at me again.
Oh, hey, you fought the Vault Hunter, didn't
Look at me
you?
again.
Now, elegant
Hold still.
man said something like, indeed I did, madam, and said that you were really good at fighting, and that you beat her fair and square.
Pay attention to what she's
She
saying.
didn't seem to harbor much of a grudge about it. Nice girl. You should think about meeting up with her again if you're not shacked up with anybody, you know? I mean, of course you probably are. Gorgeous hunk of a Vault Hunter like you. I bet you're beating away suitors left and right. Look, you're blushing. Oh, I could just eat you up. Mr. Torg was so scared of trying to get a date for such a long time. He used to go to parties and
Look
don't
at it yet.
worry about chasing love.
Her?
Chase your dreams and love.
No, the
will
picture I just sent
follow.
you.
See, that's the thing
Oh.
people don't get. You watch Echo films and they're just awful. They teach you that the only way to be with someone is just to pursue them over and over until they decide they like you. In reality, you know when you like someone almost immediately. You can't really convince somebody to fall in love with you. You just look like a stalker. But if you do things that you're interested in, like making guns that explode or killing mercenaries, then people will see that confidence and skill you have and they'll be attracted to you. There's always a fine line between that kind of confidence and narcissism, you know? There's nothing worse than somebody who wants to be famous. I remember when Mr. Torg first sold his weapons tech to that board of directors, he was pretty egocentric for a while. taking pictures of himself and posting them to the EchoNet all the time, trying to hobnob with every celebrity that used his weapons. He came back home one day with a supermodel under each arm, and I said, Mr. Torg, what are you doing? You've lost sight of who you are. It's been weeks since you actually created a new gun, I said. And it was true. He'd been more obsessed with being well known for doing something great than with actually doing something great.
It was a dark point in my life.
Thankfully, High Five listened to me and got to work on what would eventually become the Kerblaster. You a fan of the Kerblaster? That was always my favorite. That and the Flacker, which I know a lot of people hate. But there's more to combat than just brute efficiency in this whole lady's eyes. Style counts for something. And there's nothing quite like filling the air with tiny little explosions. It's like a fireworks show, except the deaths aren't as sad and unexpected. Absolutely. Now that you're here, I wanted to throw some ideas at you for feedback. I'm a playwright in my spare time, and I'm trying to write a story about an up-and-coming tournament fighter who tries to find love.
Don't worry, we're only about
an
eighth of the way in.
Really be valuable. So the play is called Broken Hearts and Broken Necks. Fade in on an arena. Just after.
There's 8 parts.
5 parts litter the stage. A lone warrior stands in the middle of the stage. A spotlight illuminating her bloodstained arm. She's
Do the questions change every time?
triumphantly aloft. Valkyrie. Is there no warrior who can challenge me? Must I be destined to spend my life as the strongest, the bravest, the most invincible warrior this galaxy has seen? For I am Valkyrie, scourge of the gladiatorial games! She shakes her head. From stage left, a janitor with a heavy heart and an even heavier conscience. He begins sweeping the body parts into a bin, which is colored green, and remember that because that's the color, until melancholy overtakes him. He drops his bush broom to the floor and falls to his knees before delivering a heart-wrenching soliloquy. The blood cannot be washed away, not before and not now, even as I attempt to escape the past which haunts me still. Must I live forever as a fraud, sweeping up the trash of others to hide my shame and avoid my pursuers? Must I forever remain on the periphery of joyful combat, ever watchful but never participating? Latter, Valkyrie re-enters the stage. Good morrow, lowly janitor. I heard a noise and thought it worth investigating. Oh, great Valkyrie, 'twas nothing but the wails of the souls you released from their bodies tonight. Souls that wail in agony as they fly upward. Fools! What have they to wail about? Their agonies are over, ended at the point of my sword. Mine, however, have only yet begun, for it is lonely at the top, and an unchallenged life is born. No doubt, listen to this. If only I were able to tell her my true identity, I would give her a fight she would not soon forget. Back to her. Yes, ma'am, boredom is the true tragedy. May you one day find challenge in combat. Stupid. Nodon picks up a giant two-armed bastard sword with almost no effort. Valkyrie is what is this? Excuse me. Stage left. Valkyrie. What strength this janitor possessed? Who is he to pick up a bastard sword with 2 fingers? What hidden power does he hold? What secrets does he keep? I will endeavor to uncover the past in the hopes that our swords may cross in battle! Scene 2. The interior of the governor's office. The table is set with myriad teas and biscuits. Oh, that's the feedback on the first scene. Did you like it? Oh, wonderful. I'll continue. Scene 2.
Why did you say that?
Governess enters from stage left. Governess. I refuse to
Die!
respond to
Die!
these absurd
Die!
accusations. The husband looks at her quizzically. Governor. I'm False accusations may those be? Governor. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm ready to get feedback on the play yet. But what about you? What are you up to? Tell Grandma Flexington all about it. I bet you've had some amazing adventures. Mr. Torg told me about the time you all played bunkers and badasses together. He said it was one of the most fun and welcoming experiences of his life.
We haven't.
Grandpa! You're embarrassing me!
Sorry, sweetie, but really, you and the Vault Hunters are his first real pals. It wasn't easy for Mr. Torg to make friends at school when he had facial hair at age 8, pecs at 8.5, and dead parents by age 9. People found him intimidating, but I told him that he should be thankful for the fact that he looks different. Anyone who wouldn't be friends with you based on appearance wouldn't be a very good friend anyway. But he really does like hanging out with all of you. Most people these days want Torg to pose for pictures or blow something up by flexing at it. It's not often he gets to sit down and play games with people. Oh, speaking of games, did you play Going Back to the House yet? It's a new echo simulation about exploring a log cabin you lived in when you were a kid. There's no violence or anything. You just walk around looking at cereal boxes and remembering people you made out with. I really like where echo sims have gone in the past few years, don't you? There seem to be a lot more of them with interesting things to do beyond shooting people, and the writing has gotten so tight and concise. For instance, did you ever play The Samurai's Marker? The whole game's story was delivered through haiku. Did Zero write it or something? No, I'm just joshing. I know you're too busy for that. But oh yeah, I was playing at the end of the pointed gun last night with my Echo Sim player, and wow, is that fun. It's about a guy who punches people
I'm out of
and
grenades.
smacks himself in the face with doors. Easily one of the best punch-related comedy sims ever. But oh, I'm really looking forward to this game called Robot Hunter Assault Squadron, which is this big randomized survival game about throwing bottles at trees and accidentally scaring birds. In the demo version, I scared a bird so hard it died. 10 out of 10 in my book. But what kind of things do you do for fun? You play any sports? You look like you might be into some of the more extreme stuff, like spine hurdling or psycho head volleyball. I knew an athlete a lot like you when I was younger. Her name was Nija. She was especially gifted at the giblet toss. That's an old pastime we had back when I was younger. Idea was you punch a convict and then see how far you could make their viscera fly across a big field. You got points based on distance and the size of the viscera. She won the final round of the giblet toss championship by getting a left eyeball to cross the 300-meter mark. They said she was juicing with iridium, but I think they were just angry that she dethroned the reigning champ, misogynistic Jim. You really liked him for some reason. Hey, what's your favorite food? Mine's burgers, personally. People look at you like you're a pleb or something when you say you like burgers, but just think of all the things you can do with them. You can change out the patty, play around with the toppings, change what sides you have. You ever have a burger with veggie chips? Gosh, I all but forgot about fries for about a year after I discovered the veggie chip combo. And I'm not a vegetarian or anything, but those veggie patties they make on the more upper class worlds are crazy good. Better than real meat if you cook it right. Mr. Torg tried to be vegetarian once after he saw a fluff bear get run over by a truck. How long do you last again?
12 seconds!
Barely even finished the word vegetarian before he lunged at a skag chew I was holding in my left hand. Nearly lost a finger. Granted, he's always been part of skag chews or skag bacon. Don't know why, since I always felt like skags tasted like old tires and vomit. But to each his own. Taste is a funny thing. People say your taste buds get more refined as time goes on, but they actually get worse and worse. So when Mr. Torg used to refuse vegetables as a kid, it's because he was actually tasting how awful they were. When we old folks eat vegetables, we're only okay with it because we can't taste all the gross vitamins and stuff. Granted, vitamins are what have kept me going for as long as I've been going. You get enough B12 in your system and you can head run a freight train without so much to bruise.
I wonder if this
That
would
reminds
kill
me,
me.
I need to get my pills ready for the rest of the week. I have one of those little metal containers split into different sections for each day. It's really helpful. And the sides are sharp enough that I can use it to ward off burglars if I need to. What else do I have to do this week?
The worst part is my nan and granddad
Probably
have one
head
of
to
them.
the bazaar, pick up some frozen spider and flames. Gotta bring my coat, though, because it gets kind of chilly in the freezer section. What else do I need? Oh, I need Schwartzman's candy drops. Gosh, those are delicious. They're so smooth and sweet. Just thinking about them, I could go for one right now, couldn't you? Do you think you could go find me one?
I don't want to play this game anymore. I want to kill myself instead. I can't even kill myself. Why? I just want to die. Please. As much as I like his grandma, I want to kill myself.
I see meat muscles!
Please tell us to actually give me something good. Please. 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 Please, Alpha. Please, I'm begging you.
You'll see.
If it's another one, if it's $1 fucking again, I swear to God, I'm just fucking gonna kill myself. I'll take back everything I said about this bit game.
I wanna hear you scream!
You fucking take it.
Wonderful. Bring it back here and I'll finish my story.
Please don't take it back to her. Don't take it back to her. I beg you. Alpha, don't you fucking do it. Alpha. Alpha. Fuck, I've got to...
You're worse than other bitches! I'm gonna be... Give me your hand! Make it down! Give me your tail!
Thank you so much! I'll eat this later while sitting by the fireplace telling Mr. Torg stories of days gone by. There's just nothing like a good roaring fireplace, is there? Something healing and safe. Maybe that's why our family likes explosions so much.
I need to
They're
go for
basically
piss.
just big fireplaces. Every explosion feels just like coming home. Oh, maybe that'd be a good slogan for the Torg Corporation. Don't you think, high five? Oh, don't be silly. It's a wonderful slogan and you know it. I used to come up with slogans for a living when I was in my teens. I came up with the jingle for Professor Gunsight's Can't Miss Scopes. How'd it go? Oh, yeah. If you try to shoot but you miss a lot, then give Professor Gunsight Scopes a shot. Ha. And then they played a gunshot sound effect and someone going, ah. It was cute. But gosh, I've been talking for a while now, haven't I? Thanks for bringing your friends to listen to an old woman ramble for a while. I can't tell you how great it is to have somebody new to talk to, especially a vault hunter. Oh, and one more thing. No, actually, that could probably wait. Just something about vaults and the end of the universe. Anyway, here. I always spoil my friends, just like I spoiled my grandson.
What the fuck is that?
Enjoy! Conversation! Ow!
It didn't kill me though. What do we do now then?
Wasn't that wonderful?
I wanna fucking die.
That can be arranged.